welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is a little bit different. Since it is Black Veil Brides Month, I thought I would do something that I haven't quite done before. I asked on Twitter and on Instagram for everybody who follows me to ask me any questions that they had regarding either like art, flute, Black Veil Brides, or anything else in general. So I recorded all of the responses. So I think right now I have 14 questions. So I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody who sent in their questions. And thank you to everyone who follows me and supports me and everything. So this year's Black Veil Brides Month is a little bit different. It's a little bit special. Black Veil Brides will be releasing their EP Bleeders at the end of this month. And Black Veil Brides International Day will be the 17th. So it's pretty close to each other. And CurstKosmetics has been teasing at a makeup drop with Black Veil Brides. So that's another exciting thing. There's so much that's going to be going on this month, and I cannot wait to see what is in store. Also, happy Pride Month, everybody. Just, again, so much stuff going on this month. I've watched Lonnie do Q&A videos plenty of times, and so I kind of got that idea from him just from watching him over the years do that. And I really do like the idea, so I thought I'd give it a try. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so this first question is a little bit of a loaded question. It's kind of multiple questions into one. So I had a couple of people ask similar questions along the lines. So this first question is, how long have you been into Black Veil Brides, or when did you get into them? So I didn't start getting into Black Veil Brides until I was I was in like middle school. I just remember discovering them through iTunes. I don't know if they still do this, but they would have suggestions of like songs. And so one of them that popped up was Knives and Pens. And so I gave it a listen because at the time I was listening to My Chemical Romance, Linkin Park, Green Day, and all those kinds of bands. I gave it a listen, instantly fell in love with them. And I really didn't get super into it until about high school. And of course, by then, all the cool stuff had started to be released, and I was saving for college, so I couldn't exactly buy the things that I had wanted, but I knew at some point I would be able to get merch and everything. I really didn't start coming into my own until about college, which I feel like tends to happen quite a bit. You get to that age where you're like, okay, I don't care. I want to be who I feel like I am inside. So I kind of just embodied that and embraced that once I got into college. So anyways, the next question is, what are my favorite Black Veil Bride songs? Oh God, this is gonna be a hard question. Maybe I'll just choose one from each album and go through that. First album, I would have to say off of We Stitch, I've been really into Children's Surrender. I'm not really sure why. Recently I've just been really into that song off of that album. Set the World on Fire. I've always liked Youth and Whiskey, and God Bless You. Those two, I don't know why, I just really like those two songs off of that album. Set the World on Fire is so iconic. I don't know, the aesthetics of that album were just so good. Let's see, next album. So Wretched and Divine. God, there's so many good songs out there. I really like I Am Bulletproof. I love that song. And then let's see, BBB4, Devil in the Mirror, which I actually got that lyrics from that song written on the most recent vest that I got from Jake from their last tour, the Bleeders tour. So yeah, I like that song. Veil. Not everybody likes this album. It's my favorite of all time. But my favorite song off of that album is Veil, This Is Where It Ends. I think it was one of the first songs I actually felt like truly like spoke to me at the time that that album was released. I was going through a lot, and I don't know why that song just kind of stuck with me ever since. I'll say, The Phantom Tomorrow. It's kind of like a tie between Scarlet Cross, Fall Eternal, and Crimson Skies. Those three. It's kind of a tie between those three. Scarlet Cross was the first Black Veil Bride song that I ever learned on my flute and played, and that was back in 2021, so it's been like 3 years, which is wild. That was the first flute cover I've ever put up. And yeah, it's just crazy to see how much I've progressed since then. I have covered Crimson Skies. I have not covered Fall Eternal yet. I kind of started learning it, and then I just couldn't focus on it and went on to a different one. So one of these days, maybe I'll go back and learn that song. What does your favorite Black Veil Bride song mean to you? So at the time when Veil was released, so that was like 2016, I had just graduated high school. Summer between then graduation and then going into my freshman year, there was just a lot of anxieties and stuff, and I felt like at that time it was kind of that transition period where it was like, okay, the old me, that's the end of that. I want to, you know, become the person that I want to be, and I had to go through a lot of reflection and decide, like, do I want to be friends with these people anymore? Is it better for me to do this or this? I had a lot of anxiety going into college regarding, like, am I going to succeed at this? Just because when I was in high school, I didn't really apply myself. I didn't actually care too much for school at all. So going into college, I was like, oh my God, what if I don't do this? What if I drop out of college? What if I do really bad? I had all these questions and stuff and self-doubt and stuff. And so Veil kind of came at a time. I know it was like, at the time, it was the end of Black Veil as we knew it. And so in a way, it felt like at the time in my life, I was also ending a part of me, in the sense of like how I perceived myself, how I expressed myself to the world, and how, you know, my interests and stuff changed as well. So yeah, I hope that answered that question. I felt like I kind of rambled, but then the next question along the lines of songs is, what is your favorite lyric from Black Veil Brides? So I'm gonna take this off the wall. So this is lyrics that I had written on one of the vests I got from Jake. This was at the Madison show. So yeah, from Savior 2. I had to read through it and like think about it. But yeah, from Savior 2, I got this written on there. So, but now I know my wounds are sewn because of who you are. Answer the call, living for all. You're the one born to save. Savior 2 made me bawl my eyes out. So I was very, you know, when Savior 2 came out, at the time my grandpa had been dealing with cancer and a bunch of health issues and stuff, and there was just a lot of turmoil in my family and a lot of stress, and hearing that song kind of felt like a hug. So, you know, I had to get that written on the vest. But yeah, the Madison show was just a whole, it was very therapeutic because that was the VVDD BVB tour. So to have that tour and that song kind of helped me through a lot, especially with my family and other personal things that were going on. So yeah, those are my favorite lyrics from Black Veil Brides. I can't remember what, I have a couple of others from songs of theirs, but as of last year, those are my favorite lyrics from them so far. Next question is favorite meet and greet / VIP that I've done. It's really hard to say. I would honestly gonna have to say my first one, which actually was the Hot Topic event that they had at the Mall of America. This was my first time ever meeting Black Veil Brides. I was very nervous. I ended up meeting my good friend Anna there, and since then things have just kind of snowballed and bloomed into something beautiful. So I think if I hadn't gone to that like first tour and meet and greet and stuff, I'm not sure how things would have gone, but I'm very grateful for that opportunity, and I just want to thank Bree again for paying it forward. They were actually the one that had like won it through Hot Topic, and because they live over on like not in the Midwest at all, they ended up asking Hot Topic if they could pay it forward and gave it to me, and in return I gave them one of my drawings. So yeah, that experience was amazing. I just going through all the memories of it, I could go on and on about it, but I'm gonna try and keep this as short as possible. But if you want, I could talk a little bit more about that experience and other VIPs and meet and greets in a different video if you'd like. Just let me know. All right, so next question is, what is your favorite Black Veil Brides flute cover you've ever done? So I think this was last year. I did a cover of Overture with my friend Bellamy and Jocelyn. So we practiced a lot for this, and I know the filming is different. It was a very different time for me, but I just love how the sound came together and how the flutes sounded together for this overture. And I mean, it helps that Jinx writes incredible pieces, but to hear all of us come together for this insanely beautiful overture was very special to me, and I think that kind of got me hooked on doing more collabs and stuff with others. So yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite ones. And then my second favorite one is Torch, which I did recently with Victoria. And I just like that for the fact that it sounded incredible. Like the production of it was so much better, and I kind of went out of my comfort zone and did something that was more like a music video style. I mean, that was a lot of work, but in the end, I thought it was well worth it. So yeah, and going along the lines with flute stuff, someone asked, how long have you been playing flute for? So I've been playing flute since I was in middle school, so I started when I was in 6th grade. We had to take lessons and stuff over the summer, and then kind of progressed since then. And I will say I definitely felt like I exceeded with playing the flute once I got into high school. My band director was exceptionally amazing. So we would do check-ins and stuff. He would always try and find ways to challenge us, and I think he really helped me kind of become more interested in the music world. And then when I got into college, I didn't do concert band or anything. I still continued to play flute. I ended up doing pep band and stuff in college, and then the pep band director there, shout out to Alan, I kind of asked him to help me with learning pieces, and at that time I had started gaining an interest in putting covers out there, so he actually helped me with learning Scarlet Cross and a couple of other pieces, because I didn't know how to learn songs from ear, so he kind of helped me with that. So, you know, kind of having people in your life that can help you with that kind of thing goes a long way. Next question is, if you had to choose any song to cover that you desperately wanted to, what would it be and why? I've always wanted to do a cover of Brother by Fall Universe. I know that song is very, very deep, and I don't know, I just feel like I really need to cover that at some point. I do love Fall Universe a lot, so I feel like I need to, I really want to cover more songs by them. Next question is, what song would you love to see them play live that they haven't yet? Unbroken. I won't even explain it, it's just Unbroken. Need to hear it live, they need to play it. It's so underrated. What is your favorite Black Veil Brides war paint? I'm gonna have to go with Jinx. I love Lonnie, don't get me wrong. But Jinx's, there's just something about like the gestured look, the points, it's just so perfection. You really have to have such a steady hand to do that. So I'm really drawn to Jinx's war paint. Next question, along the lines of flute stuff. How easy is it to learn to play flute? I don't know how easy it would be to learn by yourself on your own, but definitely having somebody like a instructor or teacher who can help you learn flute goes a long way. There's a lot of details and like techniques and everything that you have to learn, because it's a woodwind instrument and you have to blow across, right? And you have to get the fingerings right, and controlling the air that goes through, it's very challenging. I mean, that's not to say that any other instrument isn't challenging, but the flute specifically, it's just harder just because you have to blow across, and you can't really play the flute in windy conditions, especially if the wind is high enough, because you will not be able to get any notes out of there if the wind is coming at you. So yeah, I hope that answered the question. What is your favorite piece of BVB memorabilia? The favorite one that I have so far, and maybe forever, will be Lonnie's Torch suit. I wore it for the Torch cover, and I also wore it to the 2 recent Leaders Tour shows that I went to. I am very grateful that I got my hands on it, and Lonnie had it up for sale, and that I was able to get it. I'm not gonna wear it too much unless I decide to do another cover or something. I will not be wearing it out in public. I'm gonna keep it protected. I'm gonna keep it in my room, and yeah, I don't want anything to happen to that thing. It is my prized possession. Favorite Black Veil Brides merch? That's really hard because I have a lot of pieces that I really, really love. I think I'm just gonna go with the signed Gretchen Divine album that I have. Favorite piece of art you've received? Now, I don't know if this is one that, if this question is referring art that I've gotten from other people or art that I've bought myself. The only ones that I can really think of right now are, I got some keychains from Abnormal Victoria. I have one right here. It's a little Lonnie one. I don't know if you can see that. But you should follow her. She makes some amazing digital fan art, and I got a print and stuff from her as well with my order. And then I also got 2 prints. I have one of Rhea Ripley and one of Ronnie Radke. I got it for, Ruth got it for me for, I want to say Christmas, or maybe it was my birthday. But I love the pieces. They're so good. I'll have to put a picture in here of them. And then also I have 2, I have 2 prints of paintings that Ruth had done of Black Veil Brides. So one's the, one is the night era, and then, or I guess technically, well, I mean, it's gold, so maybe it could be Restitch. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, Restitch. And then the other one is of them in their torch suits. So those are the only ones that I can think of off the top of my head that I have. So those are my favorites. And then, what has been your favorite Black Veil Brides show? This one's easy for me to answer. Training Terror 3, Cedar Rapids. Played my flute on stage. There's a lot of other stuff that happened there as well. There's a lot of details I wish I could go into in this video, but I want to try and keep it as short as possible, so I'll just answer it like that. So, Training Terror 3, Cedar Rapids. Which BBB member have you met the most? Lonnie. I have met him so many times. Yeah, I've met him the most, and then second would be Jake. So I've met them more times than anybody else. If you could switch lives with any member of Black Veil Brides for one day, who would you choose and why? I think, I don't know. I have my favorites, so I think I'd either have to go with Lonnie or Jake. Lonnie just because I think it'd be cool because he does all this, like he does YouTube videos, he does Patreon, he does all kinds of stuff. He does other music related stuff when he's not on tour or stuff. So I think it'd be cool to kind of see what that's like. And then if I was Jake for a day, I think it'd be cool just because he's more into like production side of things. So I think it'd be cool to kind of learn that and see what that's like. So rate the albums and EPs. This is gonna be hard, but we're gonna start from the top. So we'll go Veil, Wretched Divine, The Phantom Tomorrow, Black Veil Brides 4, Set the World on Fire, and then We Stitch / Restitch. Is that all? That's all of the albums. EPs. I'm gonna have to say like the Night EP is number 1, and then the Morning EP, and then why can't I think of what the third one was? Whatever, I'll think of it later. But yeah, that's the order of those. Have you ever done digital art? And what's your opinion on it? I've never done digital art. I honestly have no desire of doing digital art unless something requires me to do digital art. I've always been a firm believer in just doing traditional art. I don't know how else to describe it, but I just really enjoy using pencils and charcoal and stuff. It's very satisfying for me. I personally don't like doing digital art myself, but I do like seeing digital art that people create. Not AI, because fuck AI. AI needs to die. But digital art, yeah, I personally don't like doing it, but I appreciate and can see how hard digital art can be. I don't know any of the apps or anything or programs that you use for digital art, but I do like to see how people have different styles and stuff for digital art. So yeah. All right, so that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. Try to make it as short as possible. There were a lot of questions to go through and a lot of details. I wish I could get more in depth on things, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to share, make sure to check out all my social medias and my Etsy. I do have a sale going on my Etsy right now. I think it's until the 13th of this month, and I might start another one, but right now the sale on my Etsy is 25% off, $100 or more, and then there's free shipping on that as well. So if you really want to get an original drawing, now's the chance, because I don't think I'll do anything higher than 25% off. There might be a 20%, but yeah, 25% off, $100 or more. If you do get an original drawing, I might just throw in a surprise print in there, just saying. But yeah, head over to my Etsy, check that out. Follow me on all my social medias, and I will see you in the next video. Stay rad.